Welcome anyway, it's Karen here from Stamping Bees, anyone who is watching. Coming from a very, very miserable and wet Sunday afternoon. It really is not nice. Oh gosh, I don't know this thing. It is freezing and it's definitely winter. So it is really good to be snugly in. Going to light the fire shortly. Hi Cindy, how are you? Welcome. Just saying it's absolutely freezing here. A really, really wintry day. So good to be inside and crafting, that's for sure. And I'm looking out at my new, when I turn you over, I'll give you a look. We've had a very exciting week here. We finally got our driveway concreted, which is no small job. It's a big driveway. And just in time for all this gruesome rain and wet weather, because it gets so muddy. And on Thursday night, when we were able to put up a basketball hoop, and you should have seen us trying to get this basketball hoop up. My daughter who's pregnant, and me, an old lady, and my 13-year-old, and my son-in-law, and my husband trying to push this great big hoop up. But when I swap over in just a second, I'll show you. So today I want to share with you just a couple of techniques. 26 degrees, Linda. Oh, sounds tropical. Oh, Canada. Oh, you'd be going into summer as well. Oh, fantastic. Actually, I've just got to yell out the door because this is happening. Can you see that goat? I'm going to split you over. That goat is not supposed to be there. Look, two of them. And that's our new basketball hoop. Oh my goodness. Hang on. I've just got to call out the... they are not supposed to be in that garden. So, excuse me, I'm going to be yelling in a second. Elliot, I'm on live, but the goats are out. They're up in the top garden. Sorry. But, yeah, look, they'll be eating the garden. They are supposed to be down below. But that is our new driveway. You can't see the corner, but look at that huge basketball that we had to put up. Absolutely heavy as, but fantastic. Okay, so now I'm going to take you down, now that you've seen the goats. Oh, 25 degrees. Tropical there as well. Oh my goodness. So sorry about that, seeing my goats. But if I don't alert people that it is happening, the garden will be toot sweet. So very important to get someone onto that. Yes, goats. Well, they are very intelligent and very naughty. And they do love a bit of extra food that they haven't got generally in their backyard. So, and my son's gone out now to get them. He will not be happy. Okay, so really what I wanted to cover today is, I must admit, Stampin Write. I tend to use them. I tend to go straight to my blends when I want to colour and things like that. But I really looked at Stampin Write and thought, gosh, I really underutilise these colouring things. Today, I won't be making a card as such, but I will be going over these, a couple of that you can do with this. And this one I'll show you, and you probably have done it before. I haven't, and I only learnt it fairly recently, and it's a technique called thumping. So I thought that was, if you were to Google this technique, I wonder what it would bring up actually, thumping. But anyway, I will show you the card that I have made. This shows the technique at the back with the palm tree. So I'm going to do this with you and show you just exactly what I mean. This is with the Oasis stamp set. So fantastic thing to do with trees and things like that when you want to add a bit of depth rather than just colouring in different areas. Well, you are really, but it's just a way of doing it where you randomly get the colour through. And I'm going to be using this set with you, and I'll show you a couple. I'll do a couple with you. Now this Tropical Oasis Timeless Tropical stamps and dies are actually continuing over, which is fantastic. And I didn't have the set, but I do now. So I thought I would just run over that technique, which I find very, very useful. So grabbing my stamp and a bit of paper, and I've just picked some colours here. I think the goats have gone now. Hope they haven't destroyed too much garden. Oh, you keep losing me and going out of focus. Oh, it's probably the weather actually. Oh, I don't know. Is anyone else finding the same thing? Okay. I've taken it off internet and just got it on my phone data, so it should be okay. But it is really stormy out there, so it could be that. So I hope it's not everybody. I'll just keep going anyway. It's come good now. Oh, good. Okay. So just start off, and what I do is just use the lightest Stampin' Write that you've got, and I'm using Pear Pizzazz. So start off with just the base, and I've got it on the side, and I'm just going over the stamp as such. And then depending on what colour you want now, more of the dark green or more of the orange, and I'm just using the thick end, and you just thump it. So oops, I don't really want it on there. You thump it as much as you want with the colours. So I'll do one with more of this dark colour, which is Mossy Meadow. And then I'll add a bit of orange for the sort of maybe some of the leaves that are going off. So you can see why it's called thumping, because you're just thumping the end of this on to the tree. And then I'm just using soft suede. So everyone's coming right. That's fantastic. I really do think it is the weather here. It's really quite ghastly. We've had warnings of storm, wind, etc. Now, of course, I'm going to huff and a puff, and you'll all have to listen to me huffing a puffy, sorry. But when you finish colouring in, and even when you're doing words or doing different colours, it's always good once you finish to give it a bit of a huff to re-moisten the ink before you stamp. So that was my huffing and stamp. So as you can see, it looks realistic, I feel, using this technique than just doing a straight stamp, trying to get in different colours. So I'll do it again, just bringing out other colours, and I'll show you can just really, say I want to focus on the middle, thinking that might be coconuts in the middle or something like that. So we'll still add a bit of so that's Pear Pizzazz and a bit of this. You haven't tried that technique, Gina. It's really good. And I'm just going to focus the orange on the middle. I just find for something like this, it really does make the palms look far more realistic. And then I've done that so that the orange now is basically in the middle. So you can be more precise where you put the colour, but yeah, I really love that technique for just not stamping in a straight colour. So give it a go, and what you've done, it'll be great. So this was the card that I did. I thought I'd just run over that technique with you. The other card I wanted to show you, this is using the new Forever Fern set. Now, I did do this at a team meeting, but I ran out of time to really show exactly how to do it. So I thought I'd run over it. If you're here, Sylvia, I know you don't like to say anything, but if you are here, you will understand a bit more. I didn't really get a chance to show people how to do this, and it's using, as I say, I always go to my blends to colour and to add shading and things like that. So I really did want to just try a few different things with my Stampin' Writes, and I'm sure probably other people out there have used them in this way, but I had never done so, so I just really thought it would be good. Okay, now, as I say, this is the Forever Fern set. Now, I am still waiting for my pre-order. As a demonstrator, we get to order our goodies a month earlier, but I ordered mine on the first day, and it's on this Wednesday, the catalogue's going to be open to everybody, and I still haven't received my goodies. I ordered this about 10 days or whatever after the pre-order, and I got this in the papers. I got this in the papers about a week ago. So who knows what's happening, but the papers I love this pretty peacock. It is stunning, and the papers are beautiful. Now, I wasn't going to get this set until I saw someone make something online, and then I thought, yes, I do have to have this set. So I went ahead and got it, and I'm so happy with it. The stamps, honestly, they stamp absolutely beautifully. The detail is amazing. These are the papers. And I'll put it to one side, and this, as I say, is the stamp set, and these stamps are so detailed and so beautiful. Really, really worth getting if you like greenery, or even adding greenery to your other cards and leaves, etc. This is just stunning. So I did this, as I say, for a make and take. We call it a shoebox, so we all come with something for each other to make, and this was my project. So what I wanted to do is, I'm just going to do this part here and show you what I did. So I've cut this out using these dies. These are the Stitch So Sweetly dies, which have some lovely shapes and beautiful labels. So stitched, as well as the scalloped edging on those ones, rectangle shapes. Really, and I love these little label. So I cut that out, the second to largest one. And then I started off with this big set, the big leaf out of the stamp set. And I have stamped that off. So we are using Soft Sea Foam. This is a lovely, delicate green. Your favourite dyes, Linda. Yeah, they are so good, aren't they? So good. So what I'm doing, I'm stamping the first one off. So I'm just randomly popping that. You won't actually see this as so much. It's just creating a bit of a background for when you put the other stamps on. I might just do that one a bit darker there. Put another one there. So it's not really the highlight, but just creating so you don't have big white areas in between. So as I say, I stamp. Oops, I don't know why I'm putting that away, because I'm going to use it again. Actually, no, I will. Sorry. I will come back to that, because the next one I'll do is the beautiful little buds, bud stamp. Could be leaf buds or flower buds. You could, I've done a card using these as green, or you could do them using them as flower buds, whatever you want to make them, it's perfect. So for this, I have used Blushing Bride. It's a lovely pink. All my my labels have faded, so it's quite hard to see what colour that is when it's in my little desk. Okay, so I am just randomly going to put this on my card and just spin the card round. Trying to sort of fill in the spaces. Should I do this one? just getting them to go different ways. Do that one like that. And then I will fill in any gaps. This is one of the smaller leaves, and I'm just going to use the soft sea foam, but I'm not going to stamp it off this time. I'm going to use it straight, as it were, and just add some leaves, trying not to get too much on the pink, but you will be able to sort that out. So that's why it's quite good. You could do the masking if you wanted to, but I didn't really feel for what I was doing that I needed to do the masking. But if you wanted to add more central, you definitely could do that. So what I did next is I got my Blushing Bride pen, which is the pen, the same ink as the stamp pad, and I've just, oh actually no, oh gosh, sorry, I started off and I've just used this grey pen, which is Smoky Slate, and I'm using the fine tip. So with these as well, we get a thick end and a thin end for more intricate marking, and the thick end more like a paintbrush. So I'm using the thin end because I'm just wanting to do a little bit of shading. Now it does look dark when you put it in like this, but it is going to go. So the fantastic thing about these stamps as well, they have the shading on it for you. So there's no guesswork. You know exactly where the shading is. Oh my gosh, it's pouring down out there. So just lightly touch around. So this, basically the colouring I'm going to be doing is going to give these a bit of a 3D look. And this one. And then I came in with my Petal Pink, and I did use the more paintbrushy end, and I've just blended that in a little bit with this pen. Basically, similar principle to when you are using your blends. You're just going over it and blending it into the rest of the, but you don't want to rub on your paper too much. You don't want to get pilling. It does make it, it just really does give it that 3D look. When you stamp, of course, the stamps are done beautifully with the shading, etc., but it is still one colour that you're stamping with, and it doesn't always give the effect you want. I did these ones. Hi, Sylvia. So then I did actually come in with a bit of the Rococo Rose, and just with the fine end, I came in and just did a little bit around the bottom again. Not too much. And I mean, it's just really having a play. I've not done this sort of thing before, and I just thought, oh, I'll have a little play. And I mean, you won't always get it right the first time. I've got lots of things that go to the bin, I must admit. But it's always fun to have a play, I think. Try things in different ways. Most of the time I use these pens for if I'm wanting to stamp something in a couple of different colours, or I've stamped something like words, etc., and I want to add, it hasn't stamped very well, so I run it over to add a bit of blackness or whatever colour it is to the area that didn't stamp if I haven't used my Stamparatus. Never looks as good though, but so that's really coming along, just adding that bit of colour. If you don't want it as dark, you can always go back in again and blend it out a little bit with the Blushing Bride. So yeah, do use these Stampin' Right pens more. I'm certainly hooked on them again. They usually just sit there. So I won't go over all of these, but just to give you, see how I really feel they really pop out. And the other thing I did, I just added a little bit of, with these leaves that I did darker, I just added a tiny bit. Now, it's a bit the same with blends. These do take just a marginally longer time to dry than blends. But if you come in while it's still a little bit where you've just done it, you can blend them up a little bit. But as I said, you don't want to go over it too much, because the paper will pill a little bit if you dig in the pen, if you know what I mean. So just do these ones. And so it's just another way to create your cards and backgrounds, etc. So hopefully, gosh, it seemed really weird coming on today doing, I was going to come over this, doing live, because I didn't do last week. And so that's where that leaf went over a little bit. So I'm just going over with the Blushing Bride, and you can hardly tell now. It seemed like so long since I had done. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've really forgotten what I'm supposed to be doing. I had to figure out how to turn it all back on and get my lights, and that's all right. We had as I said, we had a team meeting last week, so. There we are. Done. So, yeah, I just really feel that just adding that bit with those Stampin' Writes really add a bit of depth, and so quick and easy. And I think a lot of us do have these that match our ink pads. And I don't know about you, but yeah, mine do sit looking very pretty in their holders, and I just don't use them enough. So I just thought I would give you, as I say, a couple of ideas to use them. I've popped that on using the same die. I've cut out soft sea foam, and I've used thick Whisper White for the base, and then I have put a white, standard Whisper White, and I've run it through the embossing, subtle embossing folder. I've run it through one way and then the other to give it that sort of canvasy look. I just love that folder, absolutely love that folder. Use it all the time. And then the other one was this card here, and yeah, using the thumping technique to create these realistic palm trees. So hope you enjoyed. Sorry about the goat escapade and having to yell out down the stairs. But I hope you understand. I couldn't leave them munching away at the garden for the time I'm chatting with you. Please send me anything in or any other hints of what you use your Stampin' Write markers for. I really love to see what you do or any ideas that you've got that I haven't covered, because I really want to start using these more. And I would be really, really keen to hear. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely day, evening. Those people in 26 degrees in Canada and Australia, enjoy. And I'm going to go down and light the fire. So take care. Bye.